everyone, welcome. This is Allison with All One Sun. All One Sun meaning that we are all one. And like we say in the islands, from one come all. They usually refer that to humans. From one come all rays, come one nation. But for me, that means from one come all. Everything that is living comes from one source. Okay? The dolphins, the animals, the insects, the trees, the rocks, everything comes from one. And now, once you get into that frame of mindset of oneness, and know that we're all connected, then you're on a different level. And now you see the world in a whole different light. And now you can focus on the love. You can see a person's beauty, inner beauty, instead of what you see on the outside. Okay? And you view the world totally different. Now there's a song coming up here, and this is what this is all about. What the world needs now is love. We need to focus on love now instead of hate, because hate is contagious and so is love. If you want to go ahead and sing with me, I haven't sung in a long time. My voice is not the best, but I'm going to go for it. So here we go. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. It's the only thing that there's just too little of. What the world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for one, but for every one of us. Wow, I actually did it that time. But anyway, somewhat. It's a little bit better. But that's exactly right. That's what the world needs, and that is what's going on. That is what the world is having. It's just too little of it. Now, here is a whole understanding. What you should understand about that is that the way energy works. Now, some people I've always hear ask, why does if it's our energy and our feeling, why does bad things happen first? Well, in this society, they promote fear and hate, so they're promoting negative behaviors. So that is the most active energy that is in our society. So when you think about something bad, the energy is already there to push that forward faster. So if you think about it, if you have more love that is resonating in our society, when you think of something that is love, or think of something that you want that's positive, that is going to be pushed forward faster and manifest itself faster. I hope you get that, because man, that was really good. Okay? So now, as we look at this picture and you hear what it says there's an illusion that slavery is over, which is not true. They just packaged it differently. Okay? It's called employment. Okay? Now, there was a time when blacks and whites were slaves here. Now, a lot of people will say, okay, well, the whites were indigenous slaves. Whatever. They were treated bad, just as bad, and, a slave is slave. And that's why they all got together a few times, many times, and rebelled. And once they rebelled, and when they did one time and they just burnt down a whole town, the people at B, the masters, said, oh, no, you can't have that. So what they did was that they went ahead and they granted the people, the white people, the people, I don't want to say white, the people that look more like them, privilege, like they have. And then they said, well, these people are black, or they're this, and blah, blah, blah. And so what they did was that they caused a division. They gave them more things and made them more like them. And so, and so a lot of the black people back then kind of felt sold out by the whites. And that's why you have this distrust and then they turned on them, and so now you can understand a little bit of more of the history. And some people, black people, tell them from their parents, and they know these things. But regardless of that, okay, new society, new children, you get to repeat this, you get to start this all over, and you get to make it right. Needless, we need to get together and unite. Okay? We get a second chance at this again. We get a second run at this to make it right this time. Okay? Half the problem, half the solving a problem, whatever, is half of the solution. I'm saying this wrong. A friend of mine, let me just say the story from a friend of mine. A friend of mine I went to, we were I had this issue, and I talked to him, and he was like, okay, so tell me all about it. And I start telling him. He says, well, you're almost there. And I'm like, what do you mean you're almost there? And he says, well, part of the solving the problem is having a solution. And you seem to know what the problem is, and you seem to know what you need to do. So that's half your battle. That's where we are right now. Okay? And once this what we know right now is that we are in a corrupt society, corrupt cultures by a bunch of greedy, disconnected people, whether they have souls or not, but they're disconnected. Okay? And that's our issue. We need to know who the enemy is. And we know, some of us may not know who the real enemy is, but we need to know that. We need to know there is a small minority of people that are pulling the strings here through manipulation, and that has separated us, most of us, and to have all of us living in fear. And there's a reason why they're always propelling the train, because they're resonating at a low frequency. And once we're they have all of us resonated on their level, then whatever they are wanting to manifest will happen faster, because the energy is pushing that way, if that makes sense. Because that is whatever we are mostly focusing on, and whatever energy that is resonating the most in our society is what is going to manifest in our life, in our society. Now, your own individual world might be different, because you have your own little world. And so you might be able to, manifest wealth in your life and have a certain things happen that are good in your life, but then the rest of the world is falling apart around you. So the whole thing is now for all of us to manifest the world that we need to contribute to society, to get rid of the corruption. It all starts from the top, all the way top down, to the church, the religion institute, which is corrupt, which is used to control us. Okay? Now, I'm not one who really cares for money. I don't really care for money, and I never did. And when I tell people that we need to live in a society that we don't have money, they say, well, they don't understand that we actually can. And they say, well, what are we going to do? How are we going to live? Because they can't see anything else. Now, money itself, just like a gun, is not evil. It's what the people do with it, which a lot of them, people, they use it for bribery. They use it to buy out and infiltrate societies or programs or stuff that is actually set up to help our society. Like the one in CDC, well, that was actually just set up anyway, just to do exactly what is done. Now, I look at this way. We've tried hate, war, violence, and none of those worked out too well for us. What can we lose by focusing on peace, love? That's why this whole society has to go. It has to be torn down and go. So that means all those people, those corrupt people, have to go for us to be able to move on and develop a better society away from the slavery mentality that we were all put in bondage. Okay? There's a mental, this whole COVID thing, there's a mental thing behind it. Um, I should have put this thing on here, but all of it. Black Lives Matter, the whole scenario. I mean, now a lot of people, black people, are pushing away from it because they realize that um, that the Black Lives Matter movement, it's a setup. It's not for them, because you have the deal, whatever that gay community is, that is, it's just not okay. And a lot of people don't realize that a lot of black people are very conservative. I mean, some liberal, but it's just, the setup is just not good. Okay. Now, there's so many people who believe this whole scam about the COVID-19. We can't do anything to change their mind on that. That's just the way that is. I mean, the CDC has come out and said only 6% of the COVID deaths were actually contributed to COVID 19. So that means there was only 9,210 people that actually died from COVID related um, the disease. Anyway, so folks, we need to come together. We need to put our differences aside, and we need to come together and just love each other, kindness, and we need to build together. We need to find a way of just building together, and be the love. I'm sure a lot of you heard the saying, be the love that you want to see in the society. I know that having a job, the pressure, work. I mean, everybody wants to get back to work. But some people, I'm saying, they don't want to get back. They love this. The pressure, getting away from the pressure of working. We want to work. We want to contribute to society. I think that everybody would like to be able to work on what they would love to do. I don't know what just happened there, but imagine if you could. Imagine if you can do just that. If you live into a society where everything is pretty much given to you, all you have to do is contribute maybe 4 hours a day, by doing a community service that's benefiting everyone. Like, for instance, being a fireman. So you're trained to do that, and for 4 hours you get to do your part in doing that. And you may do that for a year or two. It's like going into the military. Like, you're required to be into the military for 4 years. But then the rest of the time, you get to work on your desire. Say you wanted to be an artist, or you wanted to be somebody who really desired to be a scientist or something like that, and that costs you nothing. And you work on that. You all come together to build a community, to build the world. Yes, that would be like a utopian society, a one world order, if you, or government, if you want to put it that way. But there's no government. We govern ourselves. We raise our food. Certain items that we have people that will put in their time to make, we would do, but most of it we will have machines make that. So that would give us the time to be able to do what we want to do. We wouldn't have jobs per se. We will get to focus on our inner self and evolve and love. I don't know if you can totally manage that, but you don't understand the power that we actually have inside of us. Once you grab hold of that, okay? Once you grab hold of the unlimited power that loves have inside of you, oh gosh, you will get this. You get it. You would so get this. I mean, some of you might have heard of other beings from other places who have these powers, who can just read your mind and stuff like that. So yes, it would be something like that. Once you're able to focus on your spirituality, that power would now be able to be developed. That and many other powers, and that is us, this society, going back into the golden age, now reconnecting to source, and now be able to connect it to the rest of the federation that are out there. Oh, that is awesome. We were there at one point. Earth was there at one point and fell. fell in their vibration, okay, in their frequency. And now here we are, growing again like kids, growing up. This is a wonderful time that we're living in, and I'm just one of many that is just out here helping people to realize the power that they have inside of them, and what we can actually do once we unite together to love each other and to bring a community together. Unity is the key. Lifting each other up is the key. We're too busy to love. I see people, when I see somebody walking on the street, I mean, I've actually picked up man, I probably shouldn't, but when I see people walking on the street, sometimes I'm actually rushing, and especially if it's a woman and she's walking and it's really hot, and I will turn around and go pick her up. Or, you know, I've done that with family that have their kids, and I see them on the highway and I'm like, oh my God, it's so dangerous. But sometimes I just think we're too busy. We're too busy to love. We're too busy to be kind. We're too busy to help each other. What if we weren't so busy anymore? Okay? Now, I love this by Franklin D. Roosevelt. It says, "We and all others who believe in freedom as deeply as we do would rather die on our feet than live on our knees." I think in some sense we're actually doing that right now. And in some sense, the American spirit has been broken. I see the stuff that are happening, and this is not the America that I know. We would fight. But today's society, we don't even have to do that. We don't have to pick up arms and fight. That's a last resort. There's so many other ways that we can actually get through and change our government and change our lives if we really wanted to. I was trying to find an ant movie to add to this because I wanted you guys to see that, because that is actually, if you ever see it, look for it in yourself and see the ant movie. I may put it on another video here, but that speaks volume. It speaks volume. There's more of us than there of them. We, the people, are more powerful once we unite, and that's what they don't want. You have to know your power. Okay? Love is the key. Now, I said before that we need to raise our vibration in love, because there's just too little of love. Once we build that vibration and we focus, now if you're listening to this, be the love that you want to see in this world. Pass it on, pass it on, pass it on, pass it on. Sisters, get together, love each other, help each other. Sisterhood, it doesn't matter who you are. I'm going to say, make it a challenge for the rest of this year to just show love, show kindness to each other. Okay? Just love. There's a study that showed that a group of people that were meditating for hours, that were meditating, and during that time, there was peace, the energy changed. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Need more love. Okay? Anyway, guys, I thank you so much for tuning in and listening to me ramble on. I hope that somehow somebody benefited from this. So like the video, share it, just help support my channel by just doing this one simple act by just liking. Okay, thank you so much. Thanks for coming. Thanks for watching. I love you guys. See you soon. Take care. Spread love. Be the love that you want to see in the world. Peace out.